going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. I'm Evil Eddie, as always. I know it's been a minute since I've been able to check in with everybody. I do feel bad about that. I am going to be addressing that. I was thinking about uh, addressing it tomorrow when we do the show. But I think I'm going to address it after this interview that we have right now. And we have somebody joining us from across the pond. We got Jordan Healy joining us. What's going on, Jordan? How you doing?
It's Hockley, mate, but never mind. Yeah, no, I'm all right, mate. I'm
Hockley,
all
like
right.
hockey. It's hockey with an L in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Hockey with an L in it. So, man, you're over the seas. You actually have a couple of amateur fights under your belt. You know a lot about mixed martial arts. Just to get everybody up, the way I came to you was just on Twitter. You just kind of hit me up in a tweet and was like, man, let me get on the show. And the way I operate things over here is like, you can be in the UFC, you can be in Bellator, or you can start from the bottom. I've had people at the bottom make their way up to the UFC, and honestly, those are my favorite stories to cover. Like, just to be able to be like, I interviewed that guy before he was even a fucking pro. So, we can look back on this in 5 years and you could be in the UFC, one of the biggest stars. You never know what's going to happen. That is up to you. But for right now, we're going to introduce you to the entire world here on Pure Evil MMA. So basically, man, let's catch up with you. You are an amateur fighter. You're getting ready for your third amateur fight, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So what exactly are you doing in preparation for this? Where are you training? And the first thing, who is it against and what promotion?
Okay, so it's my next fight is actually a charity fight, so it's a little different to what they do with the amateur fights. So what they do is it's like an ultra. It's called ultra white collar MMA. So what they do is have like an 8-week training program, and they sign you to a gym. I've been doing martial arts for a long time, but a lot of these are first timers. But for my case, they will bring someone in for somebody to, at my skill level, and they'll get somebody matched up at my level.
I haven't seen any of your fights or your heaters or burners, but what's the one surprising thing that you've really learned since starting this journey here?
I've learned that I, you know, I've learned a lot about myself. I learned that I can actually do it. My biggest enemy is me, and to know that I could do it after I won my first fight, then I really wanted it. I just said that it might not be for me. I'll try one fight. Let's see what happens.
So there was a little audio there for a second, but sorry about that. You say that you're involved in the second fight, the third charity fight here. Getting involved with something like that, I mean, when you got into the game, is that like kind of what motivated you to jump on board with doing these charity events? Was it because like, yeah, I can be learning, but I can also be helping people? Is that a big part of it too?
Well, a lot of it was the fact that I can use this as a proving ground. Start somewhere before I step into the actual amateur ranks.
And the biggest thing over there, man, I mean, MMA has really been blowing up. I know that France has been, hopping on board, trying to, raise MMA awareness. You got Conor McGregor over there, Habib Nurmagomedov. I mean, Europe really is most of the stars.
Europe is exploding, man. It's really paving the way.
So over in Europe, obviously, Conor McGregor has his upcoming fight against Habib Nurmagomedov. That's probably one of the biggest things that everybody's talking about right now. You being from across the pond, you having this little accent here and everything. Who are you aiming for? Is it wrong for me to say you're obviously going to be on board with Conor?
I'm going to say no. And my opinion is, dude, it can go either way. I'm 50-50 with it. I just can't decide. And I'll tell you why. It's everybody, we all know what they're going to do. We know Khabib's going to come in and try and take Conor down. And we know Conor's going to try and, stuff his takedowns and come with that left hook. So it all depends on who's going to show up on the night and execute their game plan.
And we usually know that Conor is the guy to show up. It's, is that overwhelming presence of his going to be able to play into the mind game of Habib Nurmagomedov, because that's been such a huge part of Conor's entire career here. I mean, he's gotten to every single opponent's mind. Maybe not Nate Diaz, but it seems like everyone up until this point, it's been definitely a big part of his tactic, and we've seen it have a huge effect on fight night. Do you think that he's gotten to Habib's head? Did you watch the presser? What were your thoughts on the presser?
Oh yeah, he definitely. Yeah, I did watch the press, and I think that he definitely got into Khabib's head. I do think Conor was actually intoxicated that night, so it might have fired him up a bit. Just get him a bit fired up.
So you say it's 50-50, and the big debate out there is, well, is it going to be a landslide either way? Like, is it going to be a landslide Conor McGregor, or is it going to be a landslide for Khabib Nurmagomedov? How do you actually see the
Like
fight
it's,
playing out? Do you see it going the distance? Do you see Conor getting the knockout, or how do you see this going? Because another big thing is
I
Conor's
do.
cardio comes
I
into
don't
play.
see it going to decision, man. I don't see it going to a
Wow,
decision.
you don't
Not
see
at
it
all.
going to decision.
Nah, I see either one getting stopped, but I can't say for sure who could win. But like I said, it depends who shows up on the night and executes the game plan.
Other big news that's been going around that you've been tweeting about as well is this whole 165-pound division. I know a lot of my listeners out there have been so anxious for me to hop on here and talk about this, so it's perfect that you're here, that you've been tweeting about it. What are your thoughts here for the 165-pound division? Because for me, it's like, all right, if they open up another division, you're still going to have fighters depleting themselves trying to make weight. But yeah, if you look at the fighters that we have at lightweight, you can easily make a top 10 right there and all be big names. So there's a lot of
Oh
excitement there. You're also going to have a new champion, which plays into the role of the whole Conor McGregor thing as well. If Conor beats Khabib Nurmagomedov, you're going to be able to have that third fight against Nate Diaz if he does get past Diamond. So I'm sure that's what the for. Uh,
yeah, I do think they're going to try and the winner of Nate and Dustin. They're going to try and get Conor to fight the winner of that.
so what's the update on that? Because I've been trying to follow up on that. You got Nate Diaz saying the UFC just told me that Dustin doesn't want the fight at 160 pounds.
I think
They're
they're
playing
playing
this game again.
games.
They're playing this
I
game
think they're
again.
playing games.
We've seen this happen in MMA, that it's like they almost do it to kind of fuck with us, to kind of almost even promote their fight. But I'll say this: I'm really happy that this fight is possibly going to be a 5-round main event. Like, this fight between these two guys wouldn't be what it could be with 3 rounds compared to 5. In my book, it needs 5 rounds, and to have it for
Yeah,
the
no, I
title,
agree.
it's perfect.
It does need 5 rounds.
Well, other than that, man, I mean, who do you see winning that fight between Nate Diaz and Habib?
I'm going to say it out there. I'm not a Nate
Nate
Diaz
Diaz and
fan.
Dustin. Nate Diaz and Dustin.
I'm not a Nate Diaz fan, but I like him as a fighter, not as a person. But I'd like to see Diamond take that one for sure. And the streak he's on right now is incredibly impressive.
So answer this question for me. I'm gonna try to. I'm just really picking your brain here with mixed martial arts. Obviously, Bellator has been in the spotlight this year. They've been growing year after year, but I feel like this year they've really finally built their roster up. It seems pretty strong. They picked up people like Roy McDonald, Gegard Mousasi. I mean, they even have younger guys over there like MVP. They got their own products, but
Hmm.
it really seems like the deal over there, which isn't changed. Can you update us on this whole BT Sport thing and this whole new package deal? How does that affect you guys overseas? And what were the perks of having BT Sport? Because you guys were able to watch a lot of the fights for free, right?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're a BT purchaser, and you have BT, and then you can watch the fights. You're paying a certain amount of much money to have BT. Why should you pay more? So now the deal's off. I don't know what deal they had, but the deal's finishing, and they're going up to a new channel now. I don't really know the channel myself, but they've changed it, so I don't know too much about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the tweets right now because they have this whole thing with Danzin working out, or just like for MMA fans, like even with you guys over there in the UK for Bellator, when they go over there, you guys can't even watch it live. Like, you guys got to wait like 2 extra days to even
Yeah,
watch the event. Like, that's totally frustrating. That's the one thing for Bellator I feel like they really need to figure out, is that whole
yeah,
streaming
yeah.
thing. And then you also got like Cage Warriors over there as well with like Patty Pimlet. I know that you've got your ear to the tracks with that one. What are your thoughts there with Patty losing his last fight? Because to me, it's like I feel like he almost missed his shot to he had
Uh,
all this momentum last year to come to the
massive
UFC, and he decided
respect,
to stay.
massive respect to Soren battling out that first round, but yeah, no, I had Soren back going into that one, thinking it, you know, um, but yeah, the Cage Warriors is good, man. Sometimes some of the matchmakers are pretty questionable.
All right, so let's jump back into this tweet that you had, because one thing I love about your Twitter page is that you actually come up with some pretty clever tweets. Like you got this one right here. It's like Artem Lobov said that Conor McGregor would beat Habib in a wrestling match. Habib must have slapped Lobov harder than we thought. Like you got some pretty good stuff on your page. So I definitely want to push your Twitter page for people to follow. And it's so easy to follow you at JMH93. At JMH93. I like when people keep it
Yeah,
simple like that. You see all these guys with like these all these spaces and dashes and all this shit. It's so confusing. If you want to grow in the community, you got to at least have a simple name
make it
there.
easy. Make it easy.
Yeah, you got to be able to do that. So you're also tweeting out like upcoming fights and stuff like that, man. What got you interested in MMA? How long have you been following along with the sport?
So uh, it all goes back to my old man. I've done judo since I was 13, and he's done judo since he was age of 4. He's been teaching since he was like 15 or so. You know, in the army and out the army. He's living in America, got his own gym out there, and I don't know. It's just kind of in my blood. And I remember him talking about sharking it at the UFC at one point. I didn't, you know, notice much of it then. I was only small at the time. But what really got me into it was the Ultimate Fighter season 9 back in 2008, 2009. I remember watching the Ultimate finale, Ross Pearson versus Andre Winner, and that was the fight. I know it's an odd one, but that was the fight, and I was a massive Ross Pearson fan at the time. I actually own his shorts from his Ryan Couture fight, and I'm going to be using them for my next one.
And you know what, man? I do a so with season 10's Ultimate Fighter first pick, James McSweeney. I mean, the Ultimate Fighter is another huge subject here. It's such an opening door to so many people out there that maybe never have watched mixed martial arts before, to kind of take a dive and insight into the real reality of what these fighters deal with and how they interact, and putting them all in a house like that. We've had a lot of really good seasons come out of it, but as of late, like this whole, I don't know if, do you guys have Fox out there, Fox Sports, or no?
No, I don't think it allows us in the country because I try and watch it on YouTube and I can't.
So over here, we got it on Fox, and ever since UFC signed between Spike, they left Spike, they went over to Fox. It was like, it seemed like the professional move at the time, but really, it's almost like they hid the fucking sport on everybody. It's on channel 271. It's barely ever on Big Fox. Now it's moving over to ESPN. I see a lot bigger things coming. So, are you seeing mixed martial arts growing over there across the seas? Like, are more people talking about it? Is it raising more awareness, especially in the past couple of years
Oh,
with Conor McGregor?
oh yeah, for sure. It's going to keep on growing, man. You know that's a sport. You know, and more people are going to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's not many big stars out there, but the stars that are left right now is really Conor McGregor. Is really riding it all. Does this fight feel as big as the other Conor McGregor fights?
This one is for sure the biggest.
It
I
is the
mean,
biggest, but
it's
it's
still
still
got
the
that. It's
biggest.
still got that vibe. Yeah, it's still got that vibe.
See, like to me, it's like I don't know, something's missing here. Like this whole time, I've been so sure that this fight's gonna get canceled or something like that. Like, what's been
Yeah.
your favorite fight so far this year? I mean, the biggest event so far this year. You really can't even pick one. The one thing that stands out in a lot of people's minds is the whole bus incident with Conor McGregor and Habib. And I was there for that, man, and it was hectic. I was in New York.
Yeah.
That everyone was running around. We had no idea what was going on. So I feel like there's a lot riding on this. What's gonna change for Conor if he loses? Because he's coming off the fight with Floyd.
I
I
mean,
know it's boxing. Does he have a lot to risk here, or what?
yeah, no, he does, and I mean, it. It's going to be better for the sport if Connor wins because if Connor wins, more people are going to
I'll
watch him.
agree with
They
that.
go, oh, yeah, exactly. You know, if Khabib wins, you know, it's not too great for Connor. It's going to be better for the promotion and for audience if Connor wins because that means more pay per view buys in the future.
So, man, I'm sure you're going to be talking about all of this on your Twitter page. Are you also on Instagram?
I am indeed.
So, what is your tag for Instagram?
Jordan Michael 145.
Have you been following up on the bare knuckle boxing lately? Because that's also been making a huge spot. I like hearing like what everyone's thinking across the seas, because one thing about mixed martial arts that I really love, it's like when you grow up as a kid, you're so open to the world, and then your parents or society kind of changes your outlook on different cultures and stuff like that, to make you think that people are different than you, and it's so
Yeah,
not the truth. And I've learned that in mixed. I feel like a lot of people have learned that in mixed martial arts. Like the guy next to you can take just as good of a punch. He can live on the other side of the world. That's one thing I really love about mixed martial arts. That's one thing that's really been shining in my eyes. So Has bare knuckle boxing been making a big splash over there? Are you guys not picking up on that just yet?
I mean, it's always been sort of on the underground scene. I mean, you've got the Irish Gypsies that do all the bare knuckle boxing, but I
Exactly.
think it sparked a couple of interest. I mean, there's a local show called Fight Club, and they're doing bare knuckle boxing, and I think that some of the local fans are getting into it. But personally, I'm not into it really. I like my MMA and I like my judo.
So listen, man, before we let you go, I really want to talk a little bit about your fight and what your future plans are by the end of the year. So you got this upcoming fight. Who's your opponent and what do you know about him?
Okay, so the way this charity event works is you train. It's kind of like the Ultimate Fight. You train with loads of guys, and then by the end of it, they announce your opponent the week before.
So you don't know who your opponent is pretty much, right? Like you just
Nope.
going in with your eyes closed. Is that kind of scary for you? Because it's like
It
that's what they
it
did
wasn't
back in the day.
it wasn't first, man. But I know this is what I want to do, and you know it's I just enjoy it. I just enjoy it. I'm not scared.
What does your
I'm
family
here to have
think though?
fun.
Like
Sorry.
here's like I mean like for me I couldn't picture going to watch my son or my daughter get into a fight, but like it is a sport, but it's got to be hard for the parents. What do your parents think about this when you first jumped into it?
My dad loves it. I get it from him. So he loves it.
Nothing's gonna make dad more happy than you walking in to a fucking ring and knocking somebody out. That you're gonna make dad proud if you do something like that. So is that something that
No,
you're
he's
pushing for?
he's
Like,
my
are you
biggest
more of a ground
influence.
guy or stand up? Because you're saying judo. Obviously, it sounds like you're more of a
Yeah, I'm a
grappler, right?
grappler. I'm a grappler more than anything. I actually wrestled in high school in when I used to live in Michigan when I was younger.
Oh, whoa! In the states,
Yeah, yeah, I used to live in New Haven, Michigan.
New Haven, Michigan.
Yeah,
Dude, I live in New Haven, Connecticut. That's so crazy.
small
That's
world.
really crazy. What made you come over to America though? Family work or what made you
It was
come?
it was personal reasons, family issues. My dad was in Afghanistan and didn't
Okay.
have anyone to look after me, so I went to live with his wife.
What'd you think about your experience here in the States? I mean, what was it kind of a culture shock to you, like coming over here?
It was, yeah, but I absolutely loved it. When I went, I was only 15, so I went straight into school. So that was a big mind blowing for me.
Please tell me all the girls are all about the accent, man.
Oh, dude, mate, I was the most popular person in the school, and then I was after 3 months, I was like the most, I was just the old toy in the attic, and then I found out who my real friends were.
So what do you do outside this whole mixed martial arts thing? Do you have a job? I mean, what are you doing? And are you taking this seriously? Like, is this something that you see yourself, becoming amateur and into pro? How do you see this going?
Uh,
And what's your background here? What do you do for work?
right now, I've actually just lost my job. I know that's not the greatest thing to say, but yeah.
Happens to all of
But
us.
yeah, man. I mean, sorry, I just got something stuck in my throat. What was the question again?
The question is, do you see yourself going into pro, and what are
Uh,
you really focused on in the future here with like a career?
Dude, I'm just having fun, man.
Yeah.
And my goal right now is to get an amateur belt. And if I do good, then I'll climb the pro ranks. But right now, I'm just having some fun. And I live for this sport, man. Whether it's I could be ring announcing, I could be posting something on Twitter. If I could make any kind of way to make this sport more well known, then I'd do it. I want it to be bigger than American football. I want it to be bigger than soccer. I want it to be bigger than the World Cup. You name it.
It's so
I, I,
exciting,
I
man.
live for
Every
it, man. I
15
live for it.
minutes, you get new fights. Every 15 minutes, like there's a whole roster of people. Like, and mixed martial arts is the number one sport in the world, most exciting sport, and it's always something new happening on the store. That's why, like, one of the biggest reasons I love Twitter. Like, you can literally engage with the fighters. You can engage with the scene. You actually have a say in a way. Like
Yeah,
you could be like, I'm for that or I'm against it, and they actually listen. Believe it or not, like one thing that I can't stand trolls, but if there's one thing trolls are good at, it's getting in people's heads. Like you could be the UFC champion of the world, like Rashad Evans, and a troll sitting on his ass in his mom's fucking basement can get in your head. And it's just like these are athletes that grind every day, have risked so much, and yet here are these people that just get in
yeah.
the heads. There's pros
Keyboard
and cons to
warriors.
it, but it's a lot of fun, man, being on social media because with football and baseball, you're not involved in the sport. mixed martial arts has been raised inside the internet scene with the underground forums and all that. So there's an actual connection there between the fighters, the fans, and the organizations, and that's one of my favorite things about this scene. But
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, man. It's like I said, it's exploding, man. You know, it's only going to get bigger.
and that's a scary thing. Like I say, the NFL, NBA, that name the sport. These fighters don't get paid a quarter as much as what some of these other athletes
That's
out there are
another thing.
making.
Yeah,
And they're putting their body through a
yeah,
lot of damage. You only have a very small window in the mixed martial arts world. Your body is taking damage. Every time you step in the octagon, you're risking your life. You're putting your body on the line. And you know how the sport is. It's brutal. They judge you on your last two fights. So when you get up there in age and you're not making the money, and it could be a very frustrating sport right now in 2018. And like you said, man, the sport's constantly growing. Hopefully in the next 10 years, we'll see fighters be able to not have to work in a part-time job, full-time job, and have to be in the UFC, because let's be real, that's not fair, that's not right. If this sport's gonna grow, we need ESPN, and we need these BT Sports things to really pump and push the product for us, because that's all we have is you know we need to be able to reach people that are in other sports to kind of get them into mixed martial arts if they haven't seen it before, which is why it was all about Mayweather McGregor. That really boosted boxing and mixed
yeah,
martial arts for the better. Take a step forward. It's exciting times. But
yeah, for
man,
sure, man.
you got this upcoming fight. The one thing I didn't ask you was what day is it and where?
November 17th at the Alton Leisure Centre.
Okay, and can people get tickets for it? You say it's a charity event, so that's one of the most important things about it. The
Yeah, you
tickets
can
obviously
get
are going to go
tickets.
to.
Tickets are online.
And what is the charity? What is it for?
So the charities for cancer research.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
a big one over here.
Man, I'm excited for it. I'll definitely be keeping up with it. And hopefully if you get the win, even if you get the loss, man, you got to remember it's a learning experience at this stage. You got to go in there and have fun like you said. I want to catch up with you directly after the fight. Is this the first podcast you ever been on?
It is, man. It
That's
is.
that's awesome, man. That is fucking
First,
awesome.
first and many.
First of many, man, and I want to get you back on the show, especially follow up on your career. Like I said, man, look at Jose Shorty Torres. I interviewed him at the beginning of his pro career, and now here he is in the UFC making a
Oh
splash. I
wow.
mean,
Yeah, no, I saw him in the IMAF, so that's pretty cool, man.
Andre Ewell was on my show a couple of weeks ago in his last fight against Sweetbread, and he was like, "Man, I guarantee you, the next fight I'm gonna have is gonna be inside the UFC." Here he is last
And he
week
just fought
making his UFC
Helen
debut
Barrow.
against Hendon Barao. It's like, oh my god,
No,
shit!
no, well done, man.
The shit's coming into reality. And for you guys listening to the podcast right now, you're going to be hearing from Andre Ewell very shortly. So, guys, stay tuned to that. Really quick, last but not least, you said you're on Twitter, you said you're on Instagram. Give your tags one more time to everybody, and a quick shout out to anybody you want. The floor's all yours.
Okay, sweet. So JMH93, my Twitter, and Jordan Michael 145 for my Instagram. I don't really use that a lot, but hit me up. We'll have a chat, talk MMA, whatever. And shout out to Prize Fighters, which is my MMA team, and shout out to Bulldog Fitness, which is in South Carolina, Gaston. Check it out if you want to learn MMA. Go and see my old man; he'll teach you how to fight.
Jordan Hockley, everybody. Thank you so much, Jordan. We wish you best of skill in this upcoming fight, and we hope this journey for you and unfold. And we'll talk to you shortly, man.
All right, man. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Have a good night, man. So there you go, guys. Jordan Hockley, amateur. He hit me up on Twitter. You guys know how I am. I'll interview anybody. I've interviewed people that have been in movies. I've interviewed wrestlers. The Glow Girls. Shout out to the Glow Girls. Love the Glow Girls. I'm actually going to be trying to get more of them on soon, because it just brightens my day every time I talk to them. And that's one thing I really love about this, as you guys know. Like, I feel bad. It's been a minute since I've checked in with you guys. I have interview dropping tonight with Jesse James Kozakowski. I know you guys are waiting hard on that interview. We took a walk around the park. We talked about his family lineage with Bruce Lee. We talked about the local scene here in Connecticut, Bellator. We talked about it all. Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. He had some amazing insight on that. We spoke about how big of a role social media plays inside the MMA scene. This and much more on this interview. But one thing I want to talk about, guys, really quick before I let you go. Yeah, it's been a minute. I have been, some personal information. I've been talking to a new girl. Things were very exciting. in the first couple of days. And now I'm very excited to see like what happens with this, but it is a distraction. I got to remember that I need to keep focused. I need to make sure that my audience here is happy. So I really hope that I didn't upset anybody. Hope that you guys didn't miss me too much. I do promise I'm going to be going live more often, like tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to fill you guys in on everything you need to know. And we have some breaking news, and I can't even tell you what it's about. We have some surprise guests. I can't even tell you who. That it's so confidential and it's such big news. And I can't wait for tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time here on Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. Guys, make sure to subscribe down below. That's the biggest part here. If you give us a thumbs up, it will really help us boost our episodes, boost our channel to help other followers of shows that you guys watch other than my show catch wind of what we're doing over here. It's going to recommend the way the whole, algorithm works with YouTube is very weird. All you guys got to do is give me a thumbs up. Subscribe down below here on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Podomatic. Guys, we've been ranking popular on iTunes. I'm so fucking happy about that. We got a lot of upcoming events coming up for Bellator. I'm going to keep you guys posted on all that and so much more. Guys, I'm going to be checking out right now. Maybe I'll go live in a little bit tonight to kind of talk a little bit more. I got so much on my mind right now. And that's another thing. Like I was thinking about, I know a lot of you guys are here for the MMA talk, but there's just so much shit going on in my life. I want to get more personal with everybody. I mean, I've been going on my Periscope page and like opening up and stuff like that, doing Instagram lives, opening up. But I got the GoPro. I got a lot of exciting things going on in my life right now, and I really want to share it with you that's outside of the MMA world that also ties in to my career, my journey, everything that's going on here inside my life, inside the MMA scene, what we have upcoming, what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, just to keep you guys updated because I got so many messages on my Twitter page and Instagram of you guys all being like, where have you been, bro? Like, what are you doing? You on Cloud 9 with this girl right here, and yeah, so I got a lot in the works here, guys. But let me get this interview up for you guys for Jesse James Kozakowski because I know everybody's waiting on it. I am Evil Letty from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com, guys. White knuckles to the end. Behave yourselves.